Hello, good morning children. I welcome you all to the online session of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. Children, we are dealing with the chapter 12, that is consumer protection. Today we will discuss about the legal protection to consumers. Here are the 10 lists of legal protection to the consumers. Hello, good morning children. I welcome you all to the online session of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. Children, we are dealing with the chapter 12, that is consumer protection. Today we will discuss about the legal protection to consumers. Here are 7 lists of legal protection given by the legislation of government to protect the interest of the consumers. So, legal protection to consumer. The first one is Consumer Protection Act 1986. Second one is the Indian Contract Act 1872. Third one, the Sales of Goods Act 1930. Fourth one, the Essential Commodities Act 1955. Fifth one is the Agricultural Product, that is Grading and Marking Act 1937. Sixth one is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. Seventh one is the Standards of Weight and Measure Act 1976. Eighth one is the Trademarks Act 1999. Ninth one is the Competition Act 2002. And 10th one is the Bureau of Indian Standards Act 1986. Let us discuss each of these. The first one is the Consumer Protection Act 1986. This act has been enforced in the year 1986 and it seeks to protect and promote the interest of the consumers. The act provides safeguard to consumer against defective goods, deficient services, unfair trade practices and other forms of their exploitation. The act provides for the setting up of a 3-tier machinery consisting of district forums, states commission and the national commission, which we have already studied in our previous class. So it is through the Consumer Protection Act 1986 that we have set a 3-tier machinery. Okay. The second point is the Indian Contract Act 1872. The act laid down the conditions in which the promises made by the parties to a contract will be binding on each other. So here this act has laid down some conditions in which the promises made by the parties to a contract, when two parties are entering into a contract, it is binding on each other to fulfill that contract. So certain conditions are laid down in this following act. So if any party, according to this contract, if any party is making any breach of contract means if any of the parties are not fulfilling their promises, then there are certain remedies available as per the act. So the act has specified the remedies available to the parties in case of breach of contract. Breach of contract means what? If the promises made by a party is unfulfilled, so it will be known as breach of contract. Now the third point is the Sale of Goods Act 1930. The act provides some safeguard and relief to the buyer of the goods in case the goods purchased do not comply with express or implied conditions or warrants. Sometimes if we have purchased some goods and it has come short to the expectation, then we have the option according to the act, the Sale of Goods Act 1930. So the buyer, they can get a relief or they can safeguard the interest when the goods fall short of their expectation which they have purchased. So which act is providing that relief? The Sales of Goods Act 1930. The next one is the Essential Commodities Act 1955. The act aims at controlling production, supply and distribution of essential commodities, checking inflationary trend, in their prices and ensuring equal distribution of essential commodities. In economics, you may have studied about the essential commodities. So the production, supply and distribution as well as price of such commodities have to be checked properly. Thus it comes under the Act, the Essential Commodities Act 1955. The Act also provides for action against antisocial activities of profiteers, hoarders and black marketers. So those who are hoarding or black marketing the essential commodities, against them the actions will be also taken according to the law, the Essential Commodities Act 1955. Then comes the Agricultural Product, that is Grading and Marking Act 1937. The Act prescribed grade standards for agricultural commodities and livestock products. So livestock product like milk product and all that, for that and for agriculture product, grade is prescribed. Okay, so this Act is giving a prescribing a grade for agriculture and livestock product. The Act stimulates the condition which govern the use of standards and lay down the procedure for grading, marketing and packaging of agricultural product. So as per this Act, the packing, marketing and grading of this agriculture product have to be done. The quality mark provided under the Act is known as egg mark. So for agriculture product, you will what is the quality mark use? It's egg mark. Next is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. The Act aims to check adulteration of food articles and ensure their purity so as to maintain public health. So adulteration means mixing of unhealthy ingredients in the food items. So that checking of such adulteration of food is done by, or ensuring the quality of the goods have to be taken up by this Act, which is known as the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. Next is the Standards of Weight and Measures Act 1976. The provision of this Act are applicable in case of those goods which are sold or distributed by weight, measures or number. So those goods which are sold or distributed by way of weight, we have to measure them or we can number them. This Act will be taken into consideration. It provides protection to consumer against the malpractices of underweight or under measure. So this Act provides that the goods which is given to the consumer should not be of underweight or under measure. It should be of correct quantity. So for that, if any violation is there, you have to, which Act will be taken into consideration? The Standard of Weight and Measure Act 1986 will be considered. Next one, the Trademark Act 1999. This Act has repealed or replaced the Trade and Merchandise Marks Act 1958. So this was the Trade and Merchandise Mark Act 1958 was used, and it was replaced by the Trademarks Act 1999. The Act prevents the use of fraudulent marks on product and thus provides protection to the consumer against such product. So use of fraudulent mark on the product, that is the original product is for misleading the consumer, they are using fraudulent marks on the product. Okay, so to avoid that practice, which Act have been ensured or taken into consideration? The Trademark Act 1999. To check the fraudulent mark, this Act has been enforced. Next is the Competition Act 2002. This Act have replaced the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practice Act 1969. The Act provides protection to the consumer in case of practices adopted by business firm which hamper competition in the market. So if any businessman is using any practicing some business which hamper the competition in the market, then we can file a case against this business under which Act? The Competition Act 2002. Next comes the Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1986. The Bureau has two major activities, that is formulation of quality standard for the goods and their certification through the BSI certification scheme. So ensuring or formulating the quality standard for the goods and certifying them. These are the two activities done by the Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1986. Manufacturers are permitted to use the ISI mark on their product only after ensuring that the goods conform to the prescribed quality standards. The Bureau have also set up a relief, that is a grievance cell, where consumer can make a complaint about the quality of products carrying the ISI mark. So if the consumer have any complaint related to the use of product, they can complain through this Bureau. Okay, so this is the Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1986. So these are the 10 legal protection given to the consumers. So we have come to an end of today's topic, and with this topic we are going to conclude this chapter also, that is consumer protection. Read the textbook very carefully and mark the important points related to this topic. A test paper is also attached. Attend the test paper after reading the question. Meet you in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, goodbye.